The night was still, the air heavy with the damp chill of the Arkansas woods. James had heard the stories of the Gurdon Light his entire life, but skepticism ran deep in his veins. He had always dismissed the tales as a mixture of folklore and overactive imaginations. Still, when his friends backed out of their late-night expedition to the old railroad tracks, he decided to go alone. He wanted to see for himself what all the fuss was about. He parked his truck at the edge of the woods and walked the narrow, overgrown trail that led to the tracks. His flashlight's beam cut through the darkness, illuminating rusted rails and tufts of grass growing between the ties. The cricket's chirping was the only sound he heard, but the deeper he ventured, the quieter the forest became, as if holding its breath. Reaching the section of tracks where the light was most often seen, James stopped and waited. The seconds stretched into minutes, and the oppressive silence began to gnaw at his nerves. He scanned the horizon, his flashlight flickering slightly. Then it appeared. At first, it was just a faint glow, hovering a few feet above the tracks. It wavered like a firefly, growing brighter and more distinct. The light seemed to pulse, shifting from white to an eerie green. James froze, his breath catching in his throat. The stories had always said the light was unexplainable, floating there without a source, detached from any natural explanation. As he watched, the light began to move, slowly at first, then faster, zigzagging along the rails. It danced erratically, as if it had a mind of its own. James felt his skin prickle, the hair on the back of his neck standing on end. A chill seeped into his bones, and he suddenly felt the weight of the stories, of the murdered railway worker, whose spirit was said to haunt the stretch of track, searching for his lantern. The light darted closer, and James stumbled back, his flashlight slipping from his hand and plunging him into near-total darkness. He fumbled for it, but by the time he raised it again, the light was gone. The tracks lay empty, silent as the grave. Without waiting to see if it would return, James turned and sprinted back to his truck, the crunch of gravel underfoot chasing him like an echo. When he reached the safety of his vehicle, his chest heaving, he cast one last glance at the tree line. The light was gone, but he knew he would never dismiss the stories again.